Well, it's been another day, good day here. Working with the stocks that we're playing around with today. The market as a whole, let's take a look. We don't have it on this screen, but overall today, let's see, the Dow Jones looked like it went down 913 points, which is about where I thought. I thought when you have news out there where California, the largest state in the country, is going under lockdown, and guess where I live? um, as well as just other kind of negative news that's out there. I was like, there's no way it's going up. There's no sentiment out there that's going to make you think it's going up. And I thought, okay, well, today's going to be an opportunity for maybe some of the stocks that we were looking at to kind of move in a negative direction, which we're not rooting for that for 401ks, but we're rooting it for people who want to get into the market right now and make a ton of money. So even if you have stocks that have taken a bath, and trust me, I do. I have Boeing, which has just been murdered because I bought it a while ago. You're going to have stocks that you can buy at some ridiculous price today, and that's exactly what we did. So overall, we're going to start with my portfolio. Today, we went up by $640, so it went up by 10% today, which is kind of a nice thing. I've started off here with about $4,000. So in the period of a few weeks, this has almost doubled so far. But we haven't even got to the sweet spot yet. I mean, it really hasn't even started yet. But overall, let's take a look at what kind of where everything moved today. So Groupon, which was realistically just a free stock that I got when I signed up with Robinhood. And if you haven't signed up with them, I would recommend doing that. Aduro Biotech is one that I've had for a while, and I really believe in it long term, but we'll see what's going on. I bought it way before any of this mess started. American Airlines went up 1.5%, no biggie. United, for whatever reason, they went up 14%. I'm not really sure why that was, but that's kind of cool. Norwegian Cruise Lines went up 6.2%. Red Robin pretty much stayed the same. Dave & Buster's went down 10%, which is fine because I might just take another dip at that. Might take another bite at the apple later on that. And this tech company's biotech company went up 1.5%. So pretty much is flat when it comes to that. Let's see. And then Averi went up 50% for me today. So take a look at that one. And in fact, what I'll do, just because I don't like these things loading all the time. So we'll just open this in a new tab and we'll take a look at this one as well. And this one right here, we're not going to talk too much about. Cinemark, it's a movie theater company. They're down 2%. I mean, they don't have any money coming in. So that one's just, there's no way that one's going up for a while. All right, so Averi, and this is a company that does, technology for casinos. So I'm not sure what the news was that came out today, but it started off at $3. I'm sorry, it started off at, what does it look like, 250, 240. We'll take a look at where it was at the end of the day yesterday. They were about $2 yesterday, and they jumped to $3 today. So nice 50% bump there. So I bought in at 225, and looks like I spent about $1,000, and it's worth about $13.32. So with nothing happening and the sentiment getting worse, a company that services casinos, which aren't even in business, has just went up 50%, and we haven't seen anything yet. So again, if we look 3 months back where they were hovering, that's about $12 to $13. We get that, we're going to basically quadruple what we already have right now, and that's another $5,000. We'll be sitting at $6,500, having spent $1,000. So it's a nice one to have. It speaks to kind of what we're looking at. That people believe in these stocks, but it doesn't really matter what the stock price is. Eldorado Resorts, same thing. So yesterday it looked like it closed at about 750. We got it up to almost 950 today, so it bumped up 35%. So that makes up for some losses that we had earlier because I got it in the 825. But again, this is definitely moving in the right direction. So I went in and I was looking at E-Trade today, and sometimes they just have charts on there that you just don't believe. I almost think they're broken at this point because I tried to find the lowest performing stock, the biggest drop in the last 3 months, and all of them were tied for 59.0%. And they went in order, so it might have gone 58, 57, but they were all at point 0, like 58.0, 57.0, and it just looks shady. Like something's up with that, and I'm not really sure what it is. Um, but anyway, wasn't anything really that jumped out today, but we're going to talk about some of the other ones that we have on the watch list today. And again, before we get to that, just some of the key markers that we look at when we're looking at stocks, we're looking at industries that are just getting hammered. And that when people are in California like me and they're locked down and they're not going anywhere and the restaurants are closed and people are laid off, which totally sucks and I hate that. But they're just going to get pushed. That price is going to get pushed down to a point where you just really have to buy it. It's like having a Tesla and Elon Musk selling them for $500. I mean, you'd be crazy not to buy one, right? I mean, most people would buy 10 of them and then just turn around and sell them for 60 grand once the price got back to normal. Additionally, we want to make sure that the company is big enough so that if this thing goes on, this craziness goes on for long enough, that the company is not in risk of going under. And so we look at sectors where they don't have lobbying groups or the size of the company isn't really all that big. So we're going to roll down here and see if I can't always remember because I always look at this on my cell phone, but let's take a look at, oh, that's why. Okay, so we'll take a look at some of these companies. I just have it on my portfolio. Zovio, it's a company I used to work for. And the rest of these just kind of went down, small amounts, nothing notable. I mean, if they're going down 3%, I really don't care. There's no really great opportunity for that. Delta, basically flat. Royal Cruise Line went up 8.2%. Take a look at that. Red Rock Resorts. I forget which one this is, just to be kicking it 100% real for you. And we have a bunch of single-digit ones happening here. This one's kind of crazy. We're going to talk about these two. This one kind of surprised me, and it caught my eye a little bit. But ironically, the stock market went down 913 points, and yet these ones went up in a crazy amount. And again, I'm not buying these because they're in line with the stock market. I'm buying them because they're completely opposite the stock market. But we have some crazy movement. On a day when we lost 1,000 points, I mean, we're going to look at some serious gains here. Part of me was wishing I bought a little bit lower, but I still don't think we're anywhere out of the woods, and I think we're going to lose some of these gains, but we'll see. Royal Caribbean, they're not really even operating right now, and they went up 6%, which is fine. It's not really much of a movement there. Red Rock Resorts, I actually have, let's see if they show it here. Can't remember where they have that here. Okay, yeah, so I have a limit buy, a limit order, and again, those are just set, so it's only going to, the order's only going to go through as soon as it hits a certain price, and I said it has to be no more than $3. And I think I set that order when it was right. I think it got down to about, yeah, it got almost down to $3. Actually, it did get down to $3, but it wasn't long enough for that trade to hit. So would have been nice if we had bought it there because right now it's sitting at $7 and that would have been 133% gain. But I'm not really overly concerned about that because over the course of a year, let's say we take one of their down times, they're sitting at about $20. We'll see. I'm revisiting this one. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely watching this one more because I think it has a tremendous ability to go up, just considering how consistent it is right here. But yes, I'm a little bitter on that one. I was that close to getting that stock. Reading International, let's see, what do these guys do? Entertainment and real estate, development, ownership, and operation of multiplex cinemas. So these are movie theater people. Oh, Reading Cinemas, yeah. So these people over the course of a year been going down, but relatively flat. Let's call it right here in December, it was $10, and they're sitting at $3.35. Over the course of the last 3 months, they've lost 68%. Over the last month, they've lost 66%. So these people aren't even having income right now because all the movie theaters are closed. So definitely still keeping an eye on that. I do not have a limit order on them right now, but it's one that I'm thinking of. And let us turn off my mail. I just finished doing my taxes, so that was my little update that something happened. I'll figure it out when we're done. Azul Airlines. So here are two that are kind of crazy. So this one is one that is an airline. It's in South America. Let's see, which country is it in? Brazil. And for the last year, this one has been going up. It was at about 40 bucks per share, and you can get it for 8 right now. So that's a 5. I mean, basically, it's 1/5 of what it normally does. So, over the last week, it went down. It got down to about 550, but over the last day, it went up 10%. So I'm definitely considering getting them. My eyes on them. I don't know where I'm going to put my limit order. I'll probably. I mean, if I buy it, I want it to be a killer deal. I could put it for 8, and I'll get a certain amount of shares. But if I put it for 6, I'll get a third more shares. So I'm thinking that I'll probably put a limit order in for 6 on this, and we'll see what happens. But this one actually did well today. Now its partner one, Latin American Airlines. Again, this one it's been relatively good, but let's say in December is about $10 a share. They're sitting on 240. So we're looking at basically a 4 to 5 times recovery and profit if I were to buy it. And over the last 3 months, it's a little bit down, but it hasn't had that steep drop. But today it went up 13%, went up to 240. I would probably consider it. Let's take a look. It got down to 183. Man, if it got down to like 150 or 125, I would probably put a limit order on that. But over the last month, it's lost 71% of its value. So this is probably one of my first ones I'll put a limit order on. Carnival, it's crazy. This is the cruise ship line. They're not doing anything. They're dry docked. Nobody's working. Nobody's cruising. It's totally stable. It's a huge brand. It has a massive capitalization, meaning how much the company is really worth. And I would say let's look at right about when everything started to go to pot. It was worth about 42. It's now worth 11. So you're talking about 1/4 of its prior value. It's a 4 times profit if it recovers, or maybe 3 times profit. It's lost 76% of its value in the last 3 months. And for whatever reason today, it went up 20 bucks. So I'm guessing there's a bunch of people like me looking at it going, holy cow, I can't believe it's down to 11 bucks. So my guess is there's people out there giving the same advice that are giving the same story that I'm giving you. SeaWorld, again, they're shut down. I mean, they're not going anywhere. Big company. It's been going up as a trend line. It was about $34, $35 a share before all this happened. You can now get it for under 10. So again, about 30% of what it normally would go for, 40%. So it's lost 60% over a year. Lost 70% over 3 months, 72% over a month. Yeah, I mean, it's getting to a point, I think when it gets under 75% loss right here is when you're going to see me start to really potentially put in an order. So, and right now, I haven't put all my money in my portfolio account, but I think I have like $1,000 or $1,500 unallocated yet, so we'll see what happens. Full House Resorts, the same thing. This one has a market cap of 17 million, so it's not really that big as far as a company, but they're all casinos. So I would probably take a second look on this. It's not a slam dunk because we're looking at the stock price here, but over the course of the year, it's gone up and up and up. They're running really, really well. It was up to $3.39 per share, which doesn't sound like a lot. But then it dropped to 76 cents. So it's a 64% drop over the year, 77% drop over 3 months, and 78% over a month. So, man, I think I'm willing to maybe put in something. If it hits down to like 0.5, then I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you put in $500, you get 1,000 shares, and if it goes back to where it was right here, I mean, you're looking at $3,500. It's a nice little penny for what you could earn. And esports, this one went up today 31%. So I'm not really sure. I guess people are gaming at home, but you look at this overall, they were pretty flat for a while. August of last year, just something happened. I don't know what it was. They took a tumble. They went down to 380. And realistically, if we look at the last 3 months, just to spot the drop right here, they didn't really have any massive drop until about right here. But I think people are realizing when they're at home, they're probably playing a lot more games. So this one went down, or I'm sorry, this one went up 31% in a day. So I think realistically, if you look at the week, it got down to $1.07. I'd be willing to put in $1 a share. And if it got back to where it was before, 10, I mean, that's an insane amount. But this is kind of an anomaly. I'd say probably right here is about average. So it's about 5. So yeah, you make 4 times your investment. So you put in 1,000, you make 5,000. I mean, these are the type of options that are out there, guys. And today, I had a decent day. It wasn't even a great market. The market went down 900 points, and I made $740. So we're going to pick this up on Monday and show kind of what we're doing, the successes we have. As a reminder for those watching, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe because we're going to be putting out a video every day. I have a limit order placed for a very, I'm sorry, not a very, I have a limit order. Did I have a limit order? I thought I had a limit order placed for a couple things. Let's take a look here. Maybe I don't. Maybe they went through. All right, so, well, you know what it was? I had limit orders, but they all got placed. And right now, let's see where this is at. I'm not used to looking at this on here. I want to say it's like $1,200 or something where I have set, where I can, where I have ready to go and pull the trigger. So anyway, that's it. We'll talk to you on Monday. See ya.